Hi everybody, welcome to my Cook at Home series with Tonya at Cooking on the Bay here. Today I'm going to be making a tomato sauce. It's a low carb healthy fat tomato sauce, so it has no sugar in it. As you know, all the recipes and the dishes that I'm doing in this series are all low carbohydrate and healthy fat, part of my Cook Real Food program at Cooking on the Bay. So we've got some Roma tomatoes. The tomatoes are still available, sauce tomatoes are still good. The fruiterist sold me some on Thursday. So if you want to make these now, you've got time to. So there's 6 Roma tomatoes, 2 red onions, 4 garlics that I've just cut up here, and we're going to toss them in some olive oil and balsamic vinegar with some salt and pepper. When they're roasted, they take about 20 to 25 minutes to roast. And the roasting brings out lovely luscious flavours, really nice, very deep, intense flavour, which I like very much. And there's no sugar in this, which is obviously important to our low carbohydrate and healthy fat. Tomato sauce, by the way, has lots of sugar in it usually. To that, we're going to add some sweet paprika, some grated nutmeg, 2 anchovies, which will add a nice depth of flavour also and give a nice umami depth of flavour. We're going to be adding some vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and some salt and pepper, extra salt and pepper to finish it off and taste it. So we will just simply start by giving it a dose in olive oil. You can see I have put a little bit of pepper on already. And we'll put a little bit of balsamic, about 2 tablespoons of balsamic. There is obviously a little bit of sweetness in your balsamic. So we'll adds nice flavour, as you can imagine. The paprika adds some nice flavour as well as some beautiful colour. So we'll put, we haven't taken the skins off the garlic. I've just crushed them with the knife so they open up, and we'll squeeze out the lovely roasted garlic flesh when we're finished. We're going to then pop this in the food processor and puree it. We'll taste it and season it, and adding these ingredients too. Taste it and season it again, and then we're going to put it through the mouli so that we remove all the skins and all the fibrous seeds and things like that. I might just give that a toss. Flavour from the balsamic there. Extra in the corner. Oh, it's a shame you can't smell this. It smells absolutely beautiful. It's got a lovely tomato, onion and garlic, as you'd imagine. So there we go. Now we're going to put that in for 20 minutes. I'll put my timer on. I'll just quickly rinse my hands. Now, last night I made another tomato sauce, a slightly different tomato sauce, a recipe given to me from a friend who makes it regularly. And this is the result of it. You can see it's a lovely colour and a lovely texture. I made this one quite differently. This one is made on the top of the stove with equal parts of, again, apple cider vinegar and water, covering your tomatoes and your onions, white onions this time. There's no garlic in this sauce either. So we cooked it down with some mace. The mace added a lovely depth of flavour. I cooked it down for about 2.5 hours. Oh, and I forgot the apples. And there's an apple. Now the recipe, the quantities that I'm going to put on the website will be different because they're large quantities. For 6 kilos of tomatoes, I only used 1.5 kilos, nearly 2 kilos of tomatoes last night. So I actually added 2 apples to make it a little bit sweeter, because the recipe actually has, for the 6 kilos of tomatoes, 1 kilo of sugar. And that's what we don't want. And so when my friend gave me the recipe, she said, look, I'd definitely reduce the sugar. It's too sweet for me. And I thought, well, I don't want it sweet at all in that department with sugar. I tossed up whether to cook it with some xylitol or erythritol, which is the plant-based sugar which we use in low carbohydrate and healthy fat. But I decided not to, and I just added the extra apples. So for my quantities, I put in 2 apples. As I said, I'll put this recipe on the website. But after I did that, I then put it through after it was cooked, and it was reduced down really nicely. I tasted it, added some more salt. So the salt is going to be the preservative in this because there's no sugar. And I put it through the mouli, and you can see it's the most beautiful texture, and the flavour is superb. So I'm really, really happy with that. It's the first time I tried it, and I thought you may be interested in trying them both and see which one you prefer. So we'll just wait now for the 20 minutes for these to roast, and we'll bring them out and finish off roasted tomato sauce. Okay, so get a burst of steam here. I've got my glasses. Oh gosh, that was hot. All that moisture from the oven. Well, they look delicious. You can smell the lovely roasted smell, and lots of lovely juices there too. So we'll just wait for a couple of minutes to get these garlic out of their skins. Oops. Cool down in the food processor. Well, that was easy. Okay, so we'll just pop these in the food processor to help them cool down, get them off the hot plate. So we're going to put them in the food processor, and then we're going to put them through the mouli so that we get all that nice juice in. Balsamic vinegar. Oh, it's such a shame you can't smell this, because it does smell delicious. And there's nothing better than having a tomato sauce that you can have with, some people like them with their eggs, but definitely with your sausages, with your hamburgers, with all those things that you used to love your tomato sauce with. It's one of the things that people tend to miss a little bit if they can't have a nice tomato sauce. Well, this one will fit the bill for you. So we'll just remove that skin came off easily. You can see how easily the skins do pop off. Oh, they've all popped off. One more. And then we'll just add a teaspoon of paprika. So a teaspoon of paprika. Okay. Sweet right there. And our nutmeg. Just a small grating of nutmeg. There's fresh nutmeg is really lovely. You'll never have powdered nutmeg again. And the smell is just a delicious, beautiful, fresh nutmeg smell. So I'm very particular about the nutmeg. A teaspoon of salt, but we will probably add more salt later. And then we've got our lovely anchovies, two anchovies, which will give us a nice umami depth of flavour to our sauce. So, I'll put in our vinegar too. So there's our 120 ml of vinegar. So we'll put this on. So it's going to make a big noise. Many times before when I've made this, I actually haven't put it through the mouli, and it's been really very nice. So as we are putting it through the mouli, I think that'll probably be enough in the food processor. Oh. So I'm going to have a taste before I finish the food processing. Look at all this tomato that I'm making. A mess on. That's my spoon. Now the recipe does say a teaspoon of salt, but I'm going to add just a little bit more. And I might just give it a quick whiz round. So, it'll only take a couple of minutes to put it through the mouli. if you don't have a mouli, don't rush out and buy one. But if you do, it would be good to use it with it because it will make it that much smoother. But as you can see, that is nice and smooth in there. I'm going to put just one more taste, but I'm pretty sure that'll be delicious for us. So, it is really nice. You would be so surprised at the lovely flavour of this, considering that there's no salt in it. There's no sugar in it, I mean. The salt is delicious. You don't want it too salty, but it's just salty enough. So there you go. You can see there's what you can see there are the skins from the onion. Not the skins, the red flesh from the onion. You could put this through a sieve too if you wanted to. Would be perfectly fine, putting it through a sieve. I used to put it through a sieve. Oh, well, not this, but I have put various things through sieves. The mouli makes it very easy and very quick, as you can see. This does have a different taste and flavour because of the roasting of the tomatoes and the garlic to the one that I made last night, but they're both equally delicious. So well worth giving a try, particularly with winter coming up. Sausages are always nice, so your meats, chops, whatever the children and you like to have tomato sauce with. So you can see that we got rid of a lot of the skin flesh of the tomatoes. So let me just have another taste. And then I'm going to pour this into a nice jug. Oh, that's delicious, everybody. So look, do give it a try for me. I'm going to put this into a jug now, decant it, and put it into some bottles that I have there, some various shapes and sizes of bottles. And I'm going to freeze the ones that I'm not going to keep out. I'll probably make about 2 bottles of this. Sometimes I also put them in little jars, in my little jam jars, and put them in the fridge and the freezer as well. So enjoy making your tomato sauce. You've still got time. There are still some tomatoes at the market. So rush out and get your tomato sauce making tomatoes and you'll have a nice afternoon. Bye-bye.